Welcome everyone. This is Module 14. Module 14. Work effectively in a disciplined manner. Module objectives. At the end of this module, you will be able to execute duties accurately and systematically and within required time frame. Recognize potential ethical issues in the workplace. Discuss ethical issues with the relevant person. Execute tasks within an agreed ethical work practice. Discuss all relevant information with stakeholders at relevant time. Say no to inappropriate behavior, language, violence, bullying, and gender biasness. Execute duties accurately and systematically. As a trainer, you must undertake work according to the organization's quality assurance policies, procedures, processes. Organizations' quality assurance policies and procedures can be on enrollment and induction or orientation, complaints, grievances and appeals, assessment including skills recognition, pre-assessment and appeals. Training support requirements, for example, language, literacy, numeracy and disability needs. Fees, access and equity. You can see the image on the screen to understand better. Welfare and guidance, risk management. Issuance of qualifications. Continuous improvement. You can see the images on the screen to understand better. Health, Safety and Environment, HSE. Staff disciplinary procedures. Completing all the work in timely manner. Financial and records management. Management process for learning resources and learning materials. Recruitment and induction of personnel. Staff qualifications. Administrative duties of a trainer. A trainer also has administrative duties that must be completed within the agreed time frame. Administrative duties include maintaining batch MIS. A trainer is responsible for compiling and collating participants' data correctly in the prescribed format. The data captured in the MIS should be in standard template and free from typo errors. Before forwarding it into head office, make sure the data is complete and error-free. You can see the image on the screen to understand better. Preparing and following timetable. Trainer should adhere from timetable without any deviation. If so, he should inform his immediate reporting authority. Maintaining trainee attendance. Keeping track of trainee attendance is another important administrative responsibility of trainer. Daily track of student attendance is mandatory. Trainee leave record. Minimum 80% attendance is required for a trainee to appear in examinations. If trainees are absent due to some emergencies, then a formal leave request should be given to trainers. Trainers should make a track of leave record properly in a file. Maintaining discipline. It's an integral part of his or her responsibility. Trainee progress report. Preparing individual and consolidated reports. Taking feedback. Trainer should take verbal and written feedback about training during the course of training and on completion of training. Trainer should ensure that verbal feedback from trainees should be incorporated. Written feedback should be collated in time and should be sent to head office in a time-bound manner. Coordinate industry visits. Many of your programs might require industry visits by the trainees. You will need to coordinate these with high industry partners and organize the logistics for the same. Coordinate for on-the-job training or placement. You will be required to coordinate with OJT or final placement of the trainees by coordinating with prospective employers. Administrative duties of a trainer: post-placement tracking or hand-holding or support. Many projects would require a post-placement tracking of trainees. Coordinating for third-party assessments. You may be required to coordinate on behalf of your training company for third-party assessments by the third-party assessment agencies. Visitor protocol. Attending visitors also comes under the ambit of trainer's administrator role. Visitors can be prospective participants for information on training program or courses, senior government officials, SSC auditors for compliance checks or quality audits. Check and take care of training infrastructure. You should take care of all the training infrastructure, whether it is the training room infra, practical equipment or training center infra such as toilets, electricals, etc. Communication with seniors at HO or corporate office. You might be required to regularly communicate with seniors at HO, head office, or corporate office on any operational matters. Maintaining documentation. You will need to prepare proper documentations as per the standard operating procedures and store materials or files safely in lock and key or as required. Be vigilant. In case you feel there is any unknown person in the training center, any student is having any unwanted conversation or arguments, you should immediately take the necessary action or inform the training center manager. Attending to any emergencies. Take necessary action and inform immediate reporting authority. Emergencies could include theft, fire, major damage to any equipment, fights or arguments, etc. Ethical responsibilities. Code of ethics are certain guidelines outlined by the company for their staff. It teaches you to be a professional at the workplace. It is important to understand and follow your company's code of ethics. Some elements of the code of ethics include: be fair and ethical in your work. Do not conduct personal level dealings with trainees. Do not pay visits to the trainee's house without company's knowledge. Practice organization policy on confidentiality. Undertake work according to ethical responsibilities. Do not try to influence the assessments in any manner. Fraudulent practices. Code of ethics is important to follow as fraudulent practices can lead to immediate termination of employment, prosecution and police complaints. Some examples of fraudulent practices include deception, misrepresentation, or hiding of any fact related to trainings conducted. Using resources for trainees for personal purposes. Stealing or arranging theft for trainee fees, student resources, etc. Leaking information about trainees to competitors. Potential ethical issues in the workplace. While you follow your company's ethical code of conduct, you might also face certain ethical issues at work. Examples of potential ethical issues include: A. Unethical leadership. If your superiors are manipulating and cheating in their work by accepting bribes, gifts, etc. B. Discrimination and harassment. You are discriminated and harassed on the basis of religion, gender, caste, etc. C. Work by force. Forcing you to do unethical work by breaching ethical and legal guidelines to meet deadlines. Work ethically. Here are some tips to work ethically. Understand your trainees' rights and the organization structure as to whom to approach in case of an ethical dilemma. What's the process of solving such issues as per company policies, etc. Recognize potential ethical issues or conduct in the workplace and discuss with the authorized person. Apply organizational guidelines and legal requirements on disclosure and confidentiality. Demonstrate awareness on personal values. You can see the images on the screen to understand better. Handling unethical behaviors at workplace. Unethical behavior at workplace can be violence, inappropriate language, verbal or physical abuse, bullying, discrimination, gender biasness, etc. You can see the images on the screen to understand better. The company HR is the person you approach. If no action is being taken, then the legal route can be taken. Some laws to keep in mind are: the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act requires every company with more than 10 employees to have internal committees to investigate matters of sexual harassment. SC/ST Atrocities Act prevents the commission of offences of atrocities against the members of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Manage work and stakeholders. In order to work effectively, it is important to manage work and work relationships with all stakeholders. This includes planning and undertaking the work collaboratively with colleagues via sharing the data and information and working together on agreed terms. Obtaining, evaluating, and acting upon feedback received from clients. Performing the tasks to the needed workplace standard. Completing the administrative duties accurately in a systematic manner and within the set time frames. Manage work and stakeholders. Effectively using established communication systems and protocols in the workplace. Achieving effective teamwork. Below are some crucial elements that will help achieve teams to work efficiently. Clearly understood shared goals. Every individual of the organization must have a clear understanding of the goal of the company for which they will all be contributing towards. Accountability. Individuals should know what is expected of them and feel committed towards achieving them. The team needs to be clear as to who is responsible and accountable for different elements of the overall team goals. Effective conflict management. Any disagreement among team members should be sorted out in a manner that leads to effective teamwork. Appropriate linkages with other teams. Every team is part of the larger organization and must build appropriate bridges with the other teams or groups with whom they have to work closely. Rapid response. The team should be committed to providing rapid response of high quality to the individuals, groups, departments they serve. The team should be committed to identifying and solving problems as efficiently as possible. Ways to communicate effectively with team. Here are some ways to communicate effectively with colleagues at work. Listen actively. It shows that you are interested in what your colleague has to say and that you respect them. Look at them directly when you are listening. Do not interrupt when others are talking. Wait for them to finish speaking before you reply. Be sure to not email or text while someone is talking to you. Speak with care and respect. Prevents any misunderstandings with your colleagues. Helps to build trust and openness. Helps to resolve disagreements by using clear and polite language. Build and earn trust with honest and clear communication. Always act with integrity. Communicate honestly but not hurtfully. Clear and concise communication leads to trust, leads to more cooperation and less conflict in the workplace. Make sure that your work emails, phone calls, and meetings are professional and avoid using offensive language in the office. Keep spoken and written communications short, simple, and direct. Keep emails to one or two paragraphs to prevent people from becoming bored. Use bullet points or subheadings to make the email easy to read. Any criticism about another employee's work must be communicated with respect and care rather than being rude and angry. Be considerate of other person's communication preference and technology etiquette. Some people like using email, some use phone, some text while others use the social media. You must know if what you want to communicate is regarding work or otherwise and then choose the way to communicate. Resolving conflicts. Follow the given tips to resolve conflicts. Clear and honest communication is a must. Gather as much information as you can. It helps in identifying key issues without making accusations. Focus on what the issues are, not who did what. Avoid accusations, finding fault, calling names. Thank you and all the best.